Welcome to TestU, a place where we can share our knowledge through short videos. Even you can contribute to us by making a small video of any problem that you face in your life and how you have solved it. The video can be as short and as simple as possible, and you upload it in your Google Drive and share that link to us through that email that is shown over in this video. This way we can build a rich library having solution to any problem that anybody could possibly face in their life, and they can find a solution over here in this comment space. And by the way, the video will be uploaded with your name on it so that you can have all the credit for this. Thank you.
In this video, we are going to discuss how to use Selenium Webdriver in Katalon Studio. This also means how to write Selenium code in Katalon, and you're going to see how to run a test in Dual, that is in both Selenium mode as well as Katalon mode at a time. And we are going to see a few examples which will explain on how to find all the links in a web page and how to handle a web table, and this is all done and explained with the help of a test case as usual, like any other videos that I have posted so far. At first, let us discuss what is a manual test case and how we are going to automate it using this method of using Selenium WebDriver code in Katalon Studio. Right, so this is our orange HRM page, and user has to enter the username, password, and then click on the login button. And once it logs in, I have to click on recruitment tab. So over here we will see a list of candidates with different positions, with a different status over here. Here I wanted to download the resume of Jennifer Clinton. That is my test case that I wanted to automate, and we will see how this is achieved using Katalon Studio, and in particular using Selenium WebDriver code in Katalon Studio. Right? Okay. So first few steps, as we see here, like in my earlier videos, these are general Katalon keywords which are used to handle certain operations to log into that page, and then click on that login button, and then click on that admin link, and then click on add employee, and click on cancel button. So we can remove these two steps because we don't want to see employee addition operation. So I just commented those steps, and this is about clicking the recruitment tab, like here. So after clicking the recruitment tab, we will see this what we are trying to automate, right, which is nothing but the profiles. Okay, so like I have explained in my previous video, we have many resumes to be downloaded, and if we just view the source code and try to inspect that download link, we will see the link text is something which we can use as a web locator, right? But we have many elements which are identified by the same link text. So clearly it is clear that we can't use link text as a web locator in this case. So what are the other web locators that we can use is ID. Okay, ID, there is no unique ID. We can't use ID. Similarly, we can't use tag type A because all of these are anchor tags. So we can't use tag name, we can't use class name. So we don't have much options except the XPath. So we can use the XPath over here to locate this object uniquely. So let me copy that XPath. So I have copied that XPath. So right, I clicked on enter. This is giving me only one element. That means this is the unique identifier which I can use to locate this object, and that is how I can download the resume of this particular person, Jennifer Clinton. All right, so now I know that I have to use XPath as the identifier. So let us keep it aside. So before we discuss further into this coding, first like I said, that we are going to discuss about how to find all the links in a given web page. So the answer to this question is simple, that we use find elements, right? So mm, find elements equivalent is find web elements in Katalon Studio. So using find web elements, uh, this is something which I have explained in my earlier tutorial. So I'm not going to explain it in detail. So similarly, now we want to achieve this using uh, Selenium WebDriver. So here, using Katalon find elements method, we have tried to identify the candidates who are shortlisted. So that is what we have done. Like we discussed in the previous video, this code will give. Now I'm going to describe how to achieve this in Katalon Studio using Selenium WebDriver code. So this is a simple example where I wanted to identify how many resumes are there in this page. So I'm going to explain that concept uh, using Selenium commands over here in Katalon Studio. The answer is simple to this one, that we have to use this keyword which is DriverFactory, and that has this method called getWebDriver. So this is going to return the driver, and I'm catching the driver into this variable of type WebDriver. So that's it. That's how simple it is. So now the control or this entire script has turned into Selenium mode. Now I can use all the Selenium commands or Selenium methods, Selenium objects, whatever I wanted to use. I can continue to write that code in Selenium over here. So instead of using find web elements as above, now I started using find elements which is there in Selenium, right? So using the driver, I mean you can see that we have access to all Selenium methods over here. See, we have these are all methods of Selenium, right? So find element, find elements, get current URL, get title. So I have access to everything now, which is available under Selenium package. So that is how simple it is that we can switch into Selenium mode in Katalon Studio. It's just that we have to cassette current driver using this driver factory package or a class. So, but there is small thing that we need to take care of it. We have to import Katalon libraries, uh, which will let these objects and methods to work. So what is that is, this is the library. So we have to import the library. I have imported it in the beginning of my script over here. So over here, and we have to import also the Selenium related packages which will have access to different methods of Selenium, such as WebDriver, Web Element, by method. So these are all I'm going to use in my script. So I have to import those uh, packages as well. So now I continue to use it. So find element by XPath. So I'm trying to get a list of uh, resumes or links of the resumes over here. So I use the XPath like we discussed earlier. There is no choice for that web element except XPath, right? So now I have used the XPath, and I have used this contains text access in order to get all the links in that page. So now I got all the links of resumes. I mean number of links, how many links I have in that web page, right? So I just tried to print it using iterator, right? That's what this code is talking about. So we can run it now, and we will learn how to uh, use Selenium WebDriver code in Katalon Studio is something we finished it. But just before running this, let us talk about the complete test we wanted to automate. The test we wanted to automate is not just to see the links available, we wanted to download Jennifer Clinton's resume, right? So how do we achieve it? And the answer is simple. Like we see, this is the unique identifier, right? Which is certain row and column of a web table. So what we have to do is simple, that we have to traverse through this table and find at which point this is there and navigate to that point and then click on download button. And why I'm telling that we have to traverse through the web table, why can't we just use this, is the reason is mm, this is at the moment present in second row and seventh row of this web table. But if somebody has inserted another resume um, to this company, then this web table will be uploaded and no longer row 2 column 7 will contain Jennifer Clinton's resume, right? So that is why we can't use these fixed row numbers and column number web table as an identifier to this object. So what we have to do is we have to traverse through this web table and find Jennifer Clinton and then download her profile. So what I said now in theory is something that has to be converted into a code language, right? So that's how we are going to do this. So that means we are going to learn about how to handle web tables in Katalon Studio, and in this particular case using Selenium WebDriver code. All right. So I'm not saying that we can't achieve this by Katalon keywords. We can still achieve these by Katalon keywords, but with some, I mean, for Katalon beginners, they have to spend a lot of time in understanding and finding the right keywords in order to do this. But as we all may know, Selenium code already, um, we can take the help of Selenium commands or keywords or methods or classes, whatever they are, and achieve this identification of this web element using this concept. So we'll talk about this concept now. And so this is one of the cases wherein using Selenium code in Katalon Studio helps a lot. Like this, there may be many situations where you wanted to use Selenium WebDrivers and achieve these things quickly rather than trying to identify the Katalon keywords. And I would also say that Katalon library doesn't have all the keywords which we wanted to use for our real-time projects. In some points, you have to write your own keywords. So you can write your keywords, or else you can write the Selenium code itself directly, and which is faster to write. All right. So now we'll see how this is achieved. Like I said, so what we need is we have to identify the row where Jennifer Clinton is available and then identify that column for Jennifer Clinton, which is having that resume. And as we see, this column is fixed, though the rows are getting updated, this column is fixed. So all the time I will be knowing that resume column is going to have the resume, which is column 7. So column number is fixed. Now I have to identify a row where Jennifer Clinton is present. So that's what I'm going to do now. So what I have done is I have started now this script is into Selenium mode, right? So I started using Selenium web drivers. So I used driver and tried to find element by the tag name table, which is giving me access to this table. So for the table, again, I identified the number of rows in the table and I gave a name rows with header. And rows with header -1 is going to give me the actual number of rows. So that's how I found the number of rows in that web table. Then I have to find the columns. So we see the tags over here. TR is giving the row, TD is giving each cell. So first I have to find how many cells are there. So I try to find all the cells which are having tag name TD is giving me the number of cells. So I collected the cells. Number of cells by number of rows is giving me number of columns. So using the number of rows and cells, I am going to traverse through the web table by using two for loops. So first for loop is traversing me through the rows, and second for loop is traversing me through the columns. So first I will comment these few lines and try to explain you why I had them. Okay, so the simple logic is I have to find for Jennifer Clinton. All right, so what I have to do is again Jennifer Clinton is here, right? So Jennifer Clinton is here again. That is also hyperlink, same as the download web element. So I have to find Jennifer Clinton, and she is in column 3, I guess. Yes. So I have to identify her, and she is also under hyperlink. So this is what is going to work to search for Jennifer. So I have to create an XPath similar to this, but it should be dynamic. That's what I have to do. So I think T body is also not enough, not necessary. So I have used row column slash anchor tag. So this is sufficient for me to traverse through Jennifer. So I'm iterating through each cell and I'm trying to find the text of that anchor tab. Right? So this makes sense, right? So I'm doing this. So when I find Jenny, then I will click on the resume link on the row where Jenny is present. So this is giving me row, right? So when I found Jenny in that seventh column, I'm going to download Jennifer's resume. That's what the code is talking about. So that is how it is going to be. Uh, okay. So now let me run this one. It has opened Orange HRM page. It entered into it. It logged into it, and it has clicked on recruitment button, and it tried to identify Jennifer, and it has failed. Let us see why it has failed. So it is unable to locate this element, which is first row, first column hyperlink. So it couldn't find that element. So mm, if you guessed it already now, then yes, it is correct. That's why it has failed. It failed because in row 1 and column 1, it didn't find any element with the hyperlink, and that is correct because first row first element doesn't have a hyperlink. It has a checkbox. This is not a hyperlink, this is a hyperlink, right? So that is why uh, when we traverse for each cell, it is not finding a hyperlink. So that's why what do we do is we have to handle that no such element exception. So the best way to handle exceptions is try catch block. So that's what I have done. I have to give a try catch block. So what I have to do is when I see this error, I don't have want to stop. I wanted to proceed to next cell. That's what we have to do. So I insert a try catch block and I says if it fail, I just say print the error message and continue to the next element. If it doesn't throw any exception, then it will try to extract that hyperlink text, and if it is journey, then it will do that operation. Otherwise, it will continue to search for journey, right? So what it will do is first it will find over here, it will stop here, it will fetch this and try to see it is journey or not. If it is not journey, it will go there and there, and it will continue. Finally it will come here, and then it will match with journey, and then it clicks this particular resume. That's what it is going to do. So I have uncommented that part. So now this should work. So I have used two break statements because when I met the condition, I wanted to come out of that first loop. At the same time, I wanted to come out of the second loop as well immediately without running further more iterations. So that's what it is. Now let us see whether it will click this or not. So while it is doing that operation, there is another method as well apart from handling web tables, which is by using XPath access concept. So by using XPath access concept also, we can do this. So what is that concept is, uh, okay, let it do it in the background. what is this concept is. So let us try to identify what we are trying to do again. We are trying to download Jennifer Clinton's resume. What does it mean is, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, but I want this particular resume. And as all of these are not uniquely identifiable using any other locator except XPath, even in XPath also we understood that it is something that is dynamically changing. Okay, now see, it has run in the background and it clicked on that particular resume. So I'm going to cancel it now while we are discussing the second method. So in the words, what does it means is, it has to, in machine words, I wanted to say, in machine words, what the machine has to do is, machine has to find this element and then click this resume, which means this is relatively accessible with the help of this candidate, right? So there comes the relativity concept. So that is something which is easily achieved by XPath access concept by using descendants, following, siblings, parent, child. So these are all XPath access concept which we'll discuss in a separate video. So using that concept, I'm going to achieve the same thing of downloading Jennifer's resume, right? So let us see that method now. So this is the method 2 over here, and okay, fine. Let me comment method 1 before we see that. And relatively this is most reliable method. Doesn't mean that webtable method doesn't work. Webtable method also will work, but this will save even more time and even more or equally reliable to that webtable method. See, I have used only two statements to find this person Jennifer Clinton's resume. So what I have instructed is, I want to go to that XPath that has this resume. Relatively, it is, I mean, its parent is Jennifer. Otherwise, I wanted to access Jennifer Clinton's child element, which is download. So that's what I have done. So I put it in XPath language, which I said now in English. So what I'm trying to do is, I wanted to find an element, okay, and that element is nothing but a download link, which is followed by this particular Jennifer Clinton. So that's what I have put in. So identify a hyperlink with a text Jenny, and then followed by Jenny, try to identify another hyperlink with the text download. So that's what it is. And there is this problem with this one. So identify a text of download followed by Jennifer. So true, actually speaking, there are many such elements, right? After Jennifer. So what it will do is, it will identify all of them, but using this particular find element instead of find elements, what it will return is, it will return the first instance of it, which is eventually Jennifer Clinton's resume. Also, you can use another concept of parent, like identify a download link whose parent is Jennifer Clinton. So something like that. You can use that also. So likewise, you can use many different concepts of XPath access. So I used this one in this particular case, and so I clicked on that particular element. So that is what is achieved in one step, rather than this two for loops handling the web table, right? Just to cross check that whether I'm downloading Jennifer Clinton's resume or not, I tried to print the H-reference tag of that particular element by getting the get attribute, which is called H-reference. So now let us see manually what is the H-reference tag for this one. It is view candidate attachment attach ID 19. So let us run this script and see whether we get the result or not. It has launched the HRM page and clicked on login button and then clicked on requirement tab. Okay, and okay, it clicked on download button. So I'm canceling this. Okay, before I cancel, I just wanted to show you. Okay, we have seen it is attach ID 19, right? See, it has downloaded that particular resume, right? So that's what it is. Let me cancel this one. So this is how this is done, and thanks for watching this video. Please do subscribe and share this video if you found it is useful. Thank you.
If you have any videos like this, please upload them in your Google Drive and share that link to us in that email given over here so that we can upload it for you with your name on it. And that way we can build a common repository where anybody can find solution to the problems which they are facing. Thanks for your support, and please subscribe to this channel if you wanted to see more videos like this. Bye.